Hey guys, welcome to Beer Buddies. We're Frunk is Duck, and today we're drinking from the Trou de Diable brewery, Buteuse? The Butts?
Neither of us speak French well, so I'm going to ask that you guys actually look at the label of this beer instead of listening to what we're saying.
Probably better. Post on the comments what the pronunciation and the translation is, because we obviously have no idea.
We're just tryhards at this point.
We're just tryhards at this point.
Yeah. We'll just be reviewing the beer instead.
Taste is better than names.
Yeah, exactly. Just in the color, I'd say it's most likely an ale, could possibly be a lager at this point.
We're not entirely sure. When we were looking up the beer, it said triple. Usually triple is talking about the brewery, right? Filled like triple brewed. You won't find many lagers that are triple brewed, but you'll find more ales that are triple brewed.
Because of the stereotype with the lager name, you'll usually not find anything lager triple brewed. Lager usually goes with a very simple taste of 5 to 4%. This is actually 10.5%.
10.5.
Yeah, so it's most likely just by that.
An ale.
That it's an ale.
It actually says on the label that it's
strong beer. It doesn't say it's an ale or a lager. Just a strong beer, 10.5%.
Extra strong beer with spices.
Yeah, that's a good give. That it's it's most likely an ale. So anyway, jumping right into the aroma, I just had a good sniff of this beer. Personally, I'd say it's too strong a smell to be an ale. A lager. It's a nice ale smell from what I can tell. I mean, I've had a lot of ales and I've had a lot of lagers in my time, but this is, from what I can tell, an ale.
Well, we've covered smell. Let's go into color. I've never actually seen a lager at this color. This is a rich bronze, amber, copper tone.
Very copper tone.
Most lagers you'll see will be
goldish yellow.
Goldish yellow, and they'll be see-through. This is a little bit opaque. You can't see right through it. So it gives me the impression that it's possibly a strong, wheaty, possibly a Weissbrau. Maybe not a Weissbrau because of the color.
Weissbrau.
Weissbrau.
For one. Basic German, please.
What country is this?
If you're not going to learn the language.
What country is this?
Learn how to read at least.
What country is this?
Anyway, it's the opaqueness of the beer doesn't necessarily have to do with the brew. It's just how much they filter. Yeah. I mean, this one it doesn't really have to do with if it's an ale or a lager. Usually ales would be filtered, but usually lagers will be as well. So
the lagers are much more filtered though. I've never seen a lager that wasn't see-through.
But I'd question you to see an ale that's the same way. You're confusing it with a Belgian wit Weiss or a German Weiss. That's the issue here. So though it is opaque, that's just a general thing. Like that's not necessarily has to do with being an ale, a lager. It's just opaque. That just has to do with the amount of filtering that they've done to it. I would say still, based on the color, it's more likely an ale than it is a lager, but the opaqueness does not have anything to do with it. So aroma we've covered, it's more likely, actually, did you talk about the aroma?
Yeah, we did. It was very strong. It was a little bit bitter.
It's strong, so it's more likely an ale in that aspect.
Almost leading into an IPA because it's strong?
It smells pretty bitter. Now, from what I can tell about this, when I have a smell of it, and the taste of it. Now, the initial smell of it I have it is an IPA, but I have to admit I had a taste of this beer before we did the episode, and this is a case where you have the toffee taste. Now, this is the case of the toffee taste,
which we were planning on correcting earlier.
We
didn't get around to it.
Now, Shez had brought up earlier about the toffee taste, and so this is a 10.5% brew. And is rather strong. Now, from what we defined earlier, because it's strong, it would have a strong toffee taste. But the correction is that booziness is not directly related to the amount of toffee in it.
Toffee taste.
Yeah. It has to do with the amount of malt in it. So when I smell this, it smells bitter. It definitely has a lot of bitter smell to it. Like it is a hops. That's what I smell. There's a lot of hops in there. But when I taste it, it has that toffee taste to it in the aftertaste. Now, to me, that screams ale. Now, I would categorize this definitely as an ale, just because it has that huge toffee taste in the aftertaste.
Now, can you tell us where the toffee taste comes from?
The toffee taste, actually, hold on, let me get a taste of this now. Now this smell is definitely similar to a beer I've had recently, a very hoppy beer called Optical Illusion by Flying Monkey. It's definitely an IPA, but this beer tastes a little bitter at first, and then it goes into a really toffee flavor. Like you taste that as well.
Yeah.
It's like sweet toffee flavor. That comes from the malt.
Mm.
And so you would not taste that malt unless it was an ale.
But not an IPA, because the IPA you would taste the hops more than the malt.
Exactly, you would taste it, it's more bitter. You would taste the bitterness above everything else.
So we've crossed out the IPA, it's still leaning towards ale.
I would say, at this point, I would say because
Definitely
of the
ale.
taste and aftertaste, I would say this is a double or triple ale.
Well, we looked it up. It is a triple, and because we know that lagers don't usually come in triple, we have to assume it's an ale with all the other information we've gathered throughout the episode.
I mean, this is obviously not a stout because the general assumption was stout being
a
burnt.
very dark black color.
Yeah.
It's not burnt. It's lovely copper color.
Yeah, it's a lovely copper color. It's not burnt at all. It's definitely not a lager because it's not. You can tell there's no carbonation in the glass. There's no bubbles moving at all in it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not a lager because of the carbonation. It's more likely an ale in that case. So since it's not an IPA nor is it a stout, it moves me to say that this is a double or triple ale.
Just a correction. Our French might have been off. Le Trou de Diable might not be the True Devils. Might be the Devil's Hole.
I have nothing to say about this. I mean, I gave up on French in high school, and I started to learn.
I'm thinking of taking a UFT. Might as well.
I have no hope. The language is just a little bit too complex for me to learn.
Well, there's a little devil in the corner too.
I definitely prefer learning German. I mean, it's just more fun. I'm sorry.
What are you saying about Bengali?
French watchers out there.
No, you know what? I'm sorry to our Polish friends out there who were annexed in 1949. It was 1943 or 44 of September, because the German isn't the top language. You know what?
Hey now.
Nastrovia, hey Polish friends.
Now we have to say, hold on. We are called Beer Buddies, and beer is a predominantly German thing.
How many German things have you covered?
German beers?
Yeah.
We've
done Austrian, we've done Belgian.
I've said pretty much in every episode that German Weiss is my favorite type. Oh, I'm gonna take a sip of a German Weiss now.
Well, why don't you define or your asshole? I'll stick with my Frenchie right over here.
Just to all those viewers out there, I love German Weiss. It is my favorite type of beer.
German's good beer though. The entire region's great for beer. Germany, France, Belgium, Poland too. I've had some good Polish beers. That entire World War II area.
Don't forget India.
I've never had any beer.
IPA.
That's made in Europe. Little fun fact, IPA does not get its name from India. It gets its name from the European brewers putting more hops in it because to preserve it while sending it to India during the British occupation of India. That's where the Indian Pale Ale comes from. That's why it's so hoppy. The end. We've been Beer Buddies. We've been drinking the Devil's Hole or Le Trou de Diable, Le Butsy, the Butts. Something like the Butts. Good night, guys. See you next week. Ta! Slasha.